Every coffee needs a lotus.
Hi, I'm Mel and I am choosy. My ultimate skin goal is gusto kong mag-even out ang skin tone ko.
Hi, my name is Gian Elwada. My skin goals are to become whiter, fairer, healthier, and younger.
It really shows na yung skin ko ngayon mas moisturized, mas glowing, and mas healthy.
Thanks to Glutasy, I got my skin tone back. Thank you so much, Glutasy.
As COVID-19 cases continue to rise all over the world and enhanced community quarantine stops most of business transactions, struggles such as keeping up with business process, continuing to equip employees to be productive, and complying with government for taxes and financial reporting make it more difficult for an organization to endure the current crisis. But how can you keep up? The answer is flexibility. You don't need to be a superhero to be flexible. Just the right mindset, a lot of hard work, and a powerful tool. Let your business be empowered. Manage your sales, purchases, and inventory online. Unleash the productivity of your employees even if they are at home. Start to have a future-proof business right now. For more details about Q&E accounting system online, call us at 0917-710-4722 or email us at sales@qne.com.ph. 30% discount will be given as our help to all the businesses within the Philippines. Stay at home and stay safe.
What's the secret to beauty's beauty?
Langis.
Ito ba?
Okay, and we're back. So for your questions for Zoom participants, please type in your questions at the Q&A. Participants from Cordillera Administrative Region. Wow. From Cebu, we have 19. Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu also. Davao, Davao del Sur. Iloilo, Vigan City, Ilocos Sur, Cabanatuan. We also have 15 participants from Pampanga, Pangasinan, Tarlac, Sultan Kudarat, Bohol, Zamboanga del Sur. And I would like to say hi to Miss Abigail Lorenas. She's watching right now, and also to my Ariva Academy family and employees. Hello, thank you for sharing. And can I read now the first question, John? Okay, so we have a question here. As a leader, how could I start a daily conversation with my staff?
Yourself? As staff?
No, for the staff.
Oh, for the staff. Okay. In my public speaking workshops, I always say that when you start a conversation, start with the personal stories. Because remember, guys, when you show a level of vulnerability, you show that you are as human as your other people. Remember, your team members will put you at a pedestal when you are the leader. And that is even more intense in a lot of Asian societies. And when you start the conversations, therefore, with more personal stories, they get to connect with you because they tell to themselves, he's just like one of us. So in my meetings, I would start with, how was your day? If it's a Monday, for example, how was your weekend? How's your family? Asking about the people that they love makes people more comfortable in the discussion. Asking them about things that you have in common with. For example, most of my employees are millennials, and so I would ask them question, what is that favorite Netflix TV show that you just finished recently? And when you start with that part, their guards go down, their curtains go down, and it's easy to segue and it becomes smoother to talk about the work part. So there. Yep.
Okay. John, we have a live question here from Miss
Yep, go ahead.
Cory. Hi, Miss Cory. Miss Cory. So while we're fixing, I'll just read more questions here.
Can I get someone here, Irish? Is it okay? Can I pick one here that really got my interest?
Sure.
Okay, I like this this is from a anonymous. I've read several articles about people's natural need to be productive during quarantine and why we should not give in to that pressure. The said articles emphasize that we should instead maximize the opportunity to spend more quality time with our family, since the crisis reminds us how short and fragile life is. How do you balance the need, or if I can change the word, the stress, the pressure to be productive, the guilt of not being able to perform, given the situation we are in right now? Two things. Number one, we all have our own limits and we all have our own capacities. For some people, it's a matter of preference. So it's all relative. And reminder number two, sometimes your ceiling is just someone else's floor. So if you think, for example, that there's too much to accomplish, for some other people, it's basic for them. Is anyone superior or inferior? Nope. It's just how we're all different. So don't take it against yourself if someone is winning in the race, because it's not a competition. If you're able to accomplish more, congratulations, here's your digital certificate, but it doesn't make you inferior as well. In the same light, that wanting to become the next Mark Zuckerberg is not superior to wanting to become the best kindergarten teacher in Manila. So we all create our own paths.
Okay, let us check one question from our Zoom participant, Ms. Cory. Okay, since wala pa, I'll just read first a question from our FB Live viewer, from Christine. If my question will be entertained, what's the effect? It's entertained now. What's the effective way to manage a team working on a different schedules, running an operation of 24/7 with 19 staffs? Then you're the only manager overseeing the team. Hence, you'd like to have a fixed business working hours to balance life with your family and work, most especially that work is just around the corner of your house.
Okay. Well, firstly, I don't think you're asking about something that's specific to quarantine, because a lot of organizations are already in this mode. For example, the contact center industry operates under this, and they've been doing this since 2009 and 2010. I am dubious to think that you're the only one who's only leading the team. I'm hopefully not. That's not true. Because if you're working 24/7 round the clock, the management should be doing shifts. That's one. Number two, if you're really the only one who's leading the team, you need to assign leaders who will serve as your right hand, that when you're not there, or hope to God nothing happens to you, someone will take the lead and someone will continue, because business continuity is the issue. So there. So I think for me, my key takeaway more is you have to reflect. This is not necessarily the ideal situation to be if you're being forced by your company to work 24/7. And I don't think that there is such a thing. If you are, could you please contact me separately, because I want to understand. Or you can contact Irish, because they can contact you to a lawyer who might be more able to say if that's even legal to begin with.
Okay, next question for our Zoom viewer. What is the acceptable agreed frequency of communicating?
Sorry, that got choppy.
Okay, what is the acceptable agreed frequency of communicating?
Okay. This is my personal experience, and it's also what I see in a lot of companies. Look at communication from a weekly, monthly, and daily basis. So for example, from a weekly basis, I always encourage every Monday morning alignment of projects. So in the Stephen Covey philosophy, we call this as the wigs and pigs, wildly important goals and pretty important goals. So wildly important goals meaning For Monday to Friday, here are the non-negotiable items that I need to accomplish. The rest, which are the pretty important goals or the pigs, I can delay them or delegate them. So at least I get to understand that even if I may not see you for the rest of Friday, there's an accountability of what you need to get done for the rest of the week. And then I also have another implicit agreement, which is if you have any really important issue that cannot be discussed via WhatsApp or Viber, you are always free to call me from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. as if you were just nudging me from my desk if we were in a physical office. But default communication, we can always chat on WhatsApp or in the internal messenger of the company.
Okay. Next question. What's a good from Ian Balete from FB Live? What is a good reward and recognition system in a work from home arrangement?
I don't see any difference between the two. The only difference now is your physical distance. So the compensation should be the same as the amount of effort that you are giving. If there's anything that I would give, it would probably be patting the back of someone who created additional processes or additional systems that made everyone communicate easier. But for me, there's no difference because physical distance is not an issue to reward someone more or reward someone less.
Okay, from anonymous attendee, as a leader, how do we make other colleagues still feel important if they do not have a work from home tools, hence cannot be part of a work from home workforce?
Number one, this is a philosophical question now because if you really are a good company, I don't see the reason why some people will have tools and some people won't have. So for example, if you are in a situation right now, and I mentioned this yesterday in my talk, I know some pharmaceutical companies were in when they found out that some of their medical representatives did not have proper internet connection at home, they either did their internet instead to stay in a hotel or contract a hotel that can allow them to have internet access for a certain period of time. So
okay, next question. How can you establish your credibility to your team? How can you make your team trust you? And how can you show them your good leadership by not showing that you are just boasting? Crab mentality is real in different kinds of workforce.
all right. I love this question because this is where you need to balance. Is he just doing it for an act or is he really sincere that he wants to do that? Firstly, admit the fact that not everyone will see you from a sincere light
good leadership
because
by
we
not
don't get to
showing
control or
that you
determine how they will see you. But you're only going to be seen as credible if you are consistent, meaning that no matter how many times you were placed in that situation, you acted the same way. When you are consistent, you're predictable. When you're predictable, it means you're genuine because people see that that is the natural side of who you are. So when you're always on time and consistently starting your meetings on the dot, if you keep on doing that, not just for weeks, but for months, people will start seeing you as that guy who always starts early or starts on time. That makes you predictable. When you're predictable, you're reliable. When you're reliable, you are genuine, then that is your true nature. And that's how people respect you. So same thing. So if you keep on preaching your folks of what to do, you need to be the role model that you're the same person that says, I'm also the role model for this. Okay.
Okay, John, can we still
Yeah, I think I have 3 more. Can I just quickly answer this question because someone just I saw already 3 questions. I have 34 in my Q&As here, but 3 of them mentioned what is the online Bring Me contest? The online Bring Me is a simple Bring Me contest that you also do in physical world. So Bring Me is when bring me, I will give a prize to anyone who brings me a belt. So the person who has a belt goes to the stage and brings it. The same thing happens with online Bring Me. So you can say, bring me a fork. So people have to rush to their kitchen and then the first one who shows the fork in front of their camera is the winner. And I love it. It's really engaging because you get to be creative on the things that you ask them that can only be found at home. So there.
Okay, we have a question from Oliver. Some Oliver Partus. Some teammates have bad, not so good signal connection than others, thus not performing or visible. Should they be given more leeway? How to explain so as not to offend the others, or
Mhm.
think that they are taken advantage of by those with inferior signal
Mhm.
and equipment?
Mhm. I can so relate to this. We had this session for this was for a food company last week, and the audience members were all from sales. So there were salespeople from Metro Manila, there were salespeople from the provinces, and when we had to put them into breakout rooms, a lot from the Metro Manila folks were complaining that the ones assigned to them did not have good internet connection. So prior to the session, you have to manage expectations and say, guys, I want everyone to understand that not everyone is in the position to enjoy good internet connection, not because they chose to not have one or because they enjoy not having a good one, but because they just happen to be in an environment where it's not as good. So that's one. So if that's the case, then you ask people to be more understanding. Number two, I highly recommend to design activities that do not involve much of the internet bandwidth. So for example, instead of sharing videos on your screen, I would give them a YouTube link in which they all have to watch it for 1 minute and then they go back to the screens again afterwards. It's not as good as the real one wherein you showed it to them online, but at least it mitigates that. Number three, if you have the time as a mentor, spend additional time after that session with those folks who did not have good internet connection. So for example, one good best practice I can share is after the 1 hour video conferencing, the same leader will have another 15-minute to 30-minute huddle, but this time over landline or mobile phone, wherein he gets to ask the employees, guys, could you please ask questions based on what you did not understand from a while ago's video conferencing? So you put an extra layer of safety nets. Is it extra work? Yes. Is life unfair? Yes. But that's what we have in order for us to maximize if you really want to hustle your way to success.
Okay, another question here. What if your old staff is technology phobic?
All right. Number one, admit again that there will be people like this because that's who they are. And it's not because it's 2020. The people in the 1990 were more technologically better than the people who were born in a latter year. So it's just a matter of ceiling. Your ceiling could be someone else's floor. Number two, if this is the case, sometimes you might be the one who needs to adjust, which means, as I've mentioned a while ago, you may keep on reiterating the incentives of why the person has to be online because everyone is online and you're the only one who's not online. I get that. But if there are really people who may be different, and this is where diversity steps in, that's when you have to do the extra hustle again. How can you design a program wherein even if other people are using a certain platform, you still get to mentor the other person, not in that platform? Otherwise, guys, the best cure for any treatment is not treating it, but preventing it to happen. Post COVID-19, this is where I'm going to be asking you guys, you might want to filter employees who both possess the ability to become more technologically adept or at least open to it. And this is dependent on your industry and dependent also on your patients. Right?
Okay, this one's interesting. This question is from Miss Eleanor. What are your
Last
tips?
question, right?
Yeah. What are your tips for self-motivation as a leader yourself, John?
Eyes on the prize. Eyes on the prize. You will always see some hurdles. You will always see some challenges. But when you always focus on the prize, you will never give an excuse to it. I live alone. I have many moments when I start thinking, what is the value? What is the meaning of life? Right? The quarantine has really made you, take a toll to your mental health because you now have more time to think about the things that you never thought of before because you were too preoccupied with work. And so for me, the biggest prize I have after this COVID-19 is the thought of being able to help out other people because my mom's a nurse. So after this, for example, my next job is to look for N95 and PPEs. I've been doing for the rest of the days that I've been. And it gives me that, courage and happiness that apart from work, it makes me happy that someone else's life can be protected if I'm able to give some of my time to them. So that motivates me as well. Number two, and this where I think it's a good way to end it, I always recommend what I call as the dollhouse effect. So the dollhouse effect is wherein if you think that you have the biggest problems in the world, that's because you think that you're the only most important person in the world. And so the dollhouse effect is when you look at yourself, you have a camera, let's say it's a drone that can fly anywhere. You zoom out that camera and it sees now you as a small dot in a house. You zoom out again, it becomes Earth. You zoom out again, it becomes the solar system. You zoom out again, it becomes the Milky Way. Imagine you are the camera looking at the solar system. And that's where you start thinking, you're nothing. You are a speck of dust versus everything else that's existing. You zoom out of the Milky Way, you go to the galaxy, you go to the entire, we call it, by the way, as local group number 19. You see the Andromeda galaxy, you see other galaxies, you see billions and billions of other galaxies. Now you're really irrelevant. I'm not saying that everyone is irrelevant, but my point is your struggle is not in any way bigger than someone else's struggle in life. We all face our own challenges, but the point is that is life. And living is nothing if there aren't struggles with it. And so when I see it that way, I feel that I am irrelevant. I'm just a speck of dust compared to other people as well. All right.
Okay, and that's it. So, John, thank you so much for being with us.
Well. My pleasure.
Yes, it was a wonderful 2-day of learning event. Thank you and hope to see you soon, John.
I'll see you guys also soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Okay, this is not yet the end, guys. I just would like to say some few reminders and acknowledge our our win-win partners rather. Okay, I would like to thank our official media partner, Art Plus Magazine, our digital media partners, Focus Media. Thank you, Globaltronics, City Advertising Ventures, Outcome. Thank you also to our major sponsor, Q&E Software. For win-win partners, thank you, Brother, Faber-Castell, Glutacy, Moringa O2, KFC, Mr. Donut, Tokyo, and of course, Lotus Biscoff. For those of you, please don't forget to like us on Facebook. Please scan this QR code and it will be directed to our Facebook page. It's Ariva Academy Philippines Inc. Facebook page. Again, it's Ariva Academy Philippines Inc. Facebook page. Don't forget to like us. Okay, for our upcoming online learning sessions, don't forget to register. Strengthening positive beliefs and tapping into courage. This will be on April 8th. Wednesday, we have invited Coach Bam Santiago. On April 11th, this will be on Saturday, The Pursuit of Meaning, Your Spiritual Journey and Faith in Time of Crisis. This will be discussed by Sister Mary Anthony Basa. On April 13th, it's going to be on Monday, How to Be a Strength-Based Parent, Unlock Your Children's Potential by Helping Them Build Their Strengths, and will be discussed by Coach Bernard Marquez. What should sales executives be doing to generate sales now and after the lockdown? This will be on April 14 and will be discussed by Mr. Chris Randolph. Next is KonMari method, declutter your space, spark joy in your life. April 15 and will be discussed by Ms. Renelyn Tan Castillejos. We have invited a spokesperson from SSS. He is Mr. Jomer C. Gonzalez. He will be discussing social security system, members' assistance on COVID-19 impact. This will be on April 16. And one of our attendees a while ago, the dynamics of working from home, develop professionalism while working virtually. This will be on April 17. Don't forget, April 17. We will be joined by Ms. Abigail Arenas de Leon. We have invited Coach Ben Ampil, a US certified neuroscience coach. He will be discussing better decision making and understanding the global reactions to COVID-19 using neuroscience. This will be on April 20. And we would like to invite you for another learning session from our partner, Mr. Paulo Tibig. He will be discussing a work mode mindset, leadership lessons employees can learn at this time of crisis. This will be on April 16 at 10 a.m. Please like his Facebook page and follow him at Paulo Tibig. And of course, for those of you who want to have a customized e-learning session and invite our partner speakers, please don't forget to message me at 0916-695-4418. Again, that's 0916-695-4418. And you can email me at irish.malonda@ariva.com.ph. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Once again, this is Irish Malonda Samson. It's all about being better. Keep safe.